Hey, champs! I am thrilled to highlight one of our sponsors this month, the Sales Arms. Chris has been on our podcast a few times with my good friend and fellow consultant, Stephanie Bradley, and the Sales Arms are truly a game changer when it comes to handling sales outreach and retention for yoga studios and fitness studios. You may have heard our episode with Marianne, owner of the home studio, on the show. She credits the Sales Arms for doing all the client outreach and monitoring every step of her customer journey. Listen to her in her own words.
What is so great with working with them is that they basically are in contact with everybody that comes into my studio and that's new, and they'll send them a text message and they'll get them engaged until they get people to come back in. That was the part where I was looking for help, and I was like, I need to upload something, and it's just a lot of time and effort that goes into this, and they are personal, so it's an actual person behind a text message, and it's not something that is automated. And that was important to me. What percentage of new person comes back in 30 days? And so mine was 15 and 20% prior to doing this, and now it's been up to 35 to 40%.
With Chris and the Sales Arms team in Marianne's corner, she was able to focus on what she does best, and that's running her studio. So if you're looking to boost your studio membership without getting bogged down in sales calls and follow-ups, which I call with my clients daily detective work, and you have somebody else do the heavy lifting for you, go to yogabizchamp.link/TSA. So with our Yoga Biz Champ exclusive link, you get a direct booking with Chris, the owner, to have a chat. So again, that link is yogabizchamp.link/TSA.
Hey champs, it's Michael J, your go-to business coach for yoga studios, and welcome back to another episode of Yoga Biz Champ. Today's episode is going to inspire the heck out of anyone who's building a yoga business that's grounded, local, and filled with heart. I'm chatting to one of my amazing clients, Marianne Buchilo, the owner of Peaceful Yoga in Malverne, New York. We're talking about what it really looks like to take over a studio, navigate legacy systems, step into leadership, and grow with confidence. And since we started working together, Marianne's seen over 60% growth in her studio. And that isn't a flashy overnight success story. It's a real journey of learning, implementing, and staying focused on what matters most: the students and the studio. Now, before we dive in, if you're listening and thinking, I need support like that, now's the time to take action. I'm currently offering 30-minute fast-track calls for yoga studio owners or those wanting to start or grow their studio this fall. These are quick, no-pressure chats to see if we're a good fit for my September intake of coaching packages. So if you're interested, head over to yogabizchamp.com/book to grab your time. I only do this a couple of times a year and spots are filling. All right, let's get into it. Here's my conversation with Marianne from Peaceful Yoga. Welcome to another episode of Yoga Biz Champ. I am super thrilled. I have one of my favorite clients with me today, Marianne Buchilo from Peaceful Yoga in Malverne, New York. Hello, Marianne.
Hello, Michael. How are you today?
I'm great. I'm really happy to have you here because when I invited you, your initial reaction was, why me?
Yes.
And I think why you, Marianne, is because you represent all the community yoga studios out there. You're not a franchise. You're not a big boutique thing. You're in a small community in a town surrounded by several other towns and farmland. And I just think we've had an amazing journey together over the last couple of years. But I'd really like to start out with your journey. Like, how did you become a teacher? And what was the path that led you to studio ownership?
So interestingly, I started doing yoga when I was pregnant with my son. And I wanted to do, as I was always into aerobics and all that kind of stuff. So I wanted to do something that I felt like it was safe. So I popped in a VCR tape of Kundalini yoga. I didn't know it at the time. And it was a pregnancy tape. And that's how I got my introduction to doing
VHS.
yoga. Yep. That's exactly what it was. Yep. Exactly. Yep. And I can rewind and play it over and over again.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
it really helped me. It really helped me through my pregnancy. And then past that, I found this mother center that had yoga classes, and there were women that watched the kids. So I could go and take my class and then be with my kids afterwards. So as a young mom, that really worked for me.
Yeah.
And then I was in class one day, and one of my good friends in class said, Marianne, you should become a teacher. And that was the first thing that kind of planted a seed. But I had young kids, didn't even imagine it being possible, but somehow, some way, got it all worked out that I could take a teacher training, found the teacher training that the teacher in this class that we were in was a part of, because she is my teacher, and started from there. So what's interesting is that where I did that teacher training is the studio that I own right now. And that was in 2007. I graduated 2008. And then in 2009, started my 500-hour teaching. And in between there, did some other, like my mom had breast cancer. So I wanted to reach out and do like a breast cancer yoga. So I did a bunch of other things before I did the 500-hour. And then, in my own practice, started building it a little bit, and then started becoming a teacher, teaching at libraries and all different things, started teaching kids yoga at schools. But then once COVID hit, that studio had closed. And fast forward to 2021, it was June, the owner of that studio came to me and said, hey, look, I don't want to reopen it. Would you want to take it over? So I agreed to take it over, but not as the Yoga and Polarity Center, as Peaceful Yoga.
So you rebranded it when you took it over.
Yeah, exactly. But the thing is that was like September 2021, and we were wearing masks, and we weren't wearing masks. And I was really afraid, like, am I crazy opening a business at that time? But what felt safe for me is that I had the studio for the weekdays, and then they ran Reiki and polarity trainings in the studio. So they paid the rent for the weekends, and I was just responsible for the weekdays.
Okay.
And that really worked in the beginning. I knew lots of teachers, so I brought them in to teach. And the way that they ran their business was that it was a cooperative. So the teachers paid rent, and so they kind of split what the students paid. And there was no like online booking or anything like that. And I knew that. Although I love that because that felt safe, because then I knew I could make my rent. I also knew that, like, we're in the 21st century where everybody's booking things online and everybody's looking for things online. And I knew that I needed to have it online. So I'm not sure if this is what every new yoga studio owner does, but the only platform I knew of was MindBody.
Yep.
So that's what I jumped on and did that.
Yeah. And then you actually switched software
I did
down the road, but that was your initial.
You know what? It just, however it was working, just wasn't what I needed. I needed a little bit more for the same amount of money that I was paying. So that's why I ended up switching. And then when I switched is how I found Michael.
That's right. So we came together, and I actually just looked in this November. It will be 2 years we've been working together. Yeah. So November 2023, we came together. So you just mentioned about the co-op. So when I first met you, one of the major things, it used to take you several days to do your payroll and pay your teachers. Like, that was a big ordeal.
And they weren't a salary.
Yeah.
They're all contractors, but still.
Yeah. I kind of feel like there was different rules for different people and different agreement. So you took on legacy stuff, right?
Yes.
So when you took the studio on, you took on a legacy way of doing business.
Correct.
And so when I looked at that, I was like, oh, Marianne, that's taking you a lot of time. So that was a big shift that we did together.
It was.
Because I feel like that was not only just changing the way we pay people, but that was individual conversations with everybody that had been used to being done in a certain way.
Yes.
And so over a period, you transitioned it to a new kind of thing where it's a lot easier now to pay people, get your payroll done at the end of the month.
So easy.
But your staff came along with you for that, right?
Yes, they did.
Because I think it was easier for them, and they were getting paid faster.
Correct. They are. At first, I think there was a little like hesitance on some of the, other people, but, and I lost one teacher, but the rest have stayed with me, and I think they're all pretty happy with the way things are working.
Yeah. How did that change things for you? Because that's new cleaning up financial systems, setting up everything in a new way.
Yeah. So it definitely changed my relationship to how I was paying people, because the way that, like you said, it took like 3 days to do it. And there was this dread and this hate around it, right? And that's not yoga at all. So it definitely, like makes it easier and seamless and quick and easy. And the one thing that I do have to, because I am still paying people, some people get a check, some people get Zelle, some people get Venmo. I really would like to pay people just way and not have to, jump through hoops in order to get people paid.
Yeah, one thing at a time with that.
Yep.
The other thing that I've noticed about you, which you really have taken on, and I think you know that my background is marketing. And when it comes to marketing, I kind of feel like I sometimes fire really quickly.
Yes, you do.
The last few times I've been watching you, and when I'm in that mode of firing quickly, you are like scribbling down like everything when I'm in.
Yes, exactly. If I could just press record on that. For sure. Yeah, you are really, really deep. So for me, I never felt, and that's the one thing that I dreaded about being a yoga teacher. Like, I don't really remember so much being taught about how you have to become a business person as a yoga teacher, how you have to quote unquote sell yourself and sell your classes so that people find out about you. And I am like always timid around people. And I really hated that part of, trying to, become a success as a yoga teacher. But I think just working with you, you've been so amazing, and you hold my hand even when I resist. You still push me. And I really feel like I've learned a ton. And like, I just feel like I'm still learning and still going, but you're still pushing me. So the things that were, really, really hard, I feel like, okay, I know what to do next. I have Michael in my head. I know what to do next.
I hear that a lot. I hear your voice in my head.
Yeah, it's true.
But, so what you've taken on there, you've learned how to do things which are essential to run in a studio, right? So you've learned how to do a sales page.
Correct.
Which has been, really great for your business, because now you can duplicate those pages, change the programs, but you know how to create a page that sells something. Not only that, you've also learned how to do online marketing. So you've literally gone to the University of YouTube and webinars and, with some direction. And
correct. Yep.
And you've learned how to do meta ads, to send them to that page. Now we're on a whole new level because we just invested at you with Walla, and we just invested and upgraded so that you have now full on marketing automations, SMS conversations online and automations. And
really great.
Email marketing. And so how has that been for you? Because you've learned how to market, but now you've also got the tools that you're kind of having a little fun with.
Yeah. So I don't think I could have stepped into that right away, because I don't think I had the mindset for it.
Yeah.
Just to understand, like, oh, like now I can do this, and this is how I'm going to do it. Now, I am really not. English is, my second language, even though it's my first language. So I feel like I use Chat GPT an awful lot, but I know how to ask the question or write exactly what I want and the detail of what I want, so that what I get back from Chat GPT is most of the time head on with what I was looking for. But then all of these different automations that I have now really just makes it so much easier. And I feel like with that part of the business being taken care of, I can really look and pay attention to each student and their journey a little bit deeper, and really, really watch the financials, watch, who's coming to class, who's not coming to class, and all those types of things.
Yeah, we call that daily detective work, right?
Yep, you taught me that. You did.
So you've got the automations to support things like somebody purchases a pass, doesn't come in 2 days, boom, a message goes out. Or an SMS, which is a conversation starter, right?
Correct, yeah.
And so I feel like you've got those tools, but you're still now watching the journey, because we know every client is precious, right?
Correct. Yeah, it's true.
And so now you're watching those things to catch it when people are not attending, or so those things have been really good for you, right? For just catching stuff.
And you know what? It really is. And as time goes on and I get to know the community and I get to know people and what their schedule is usually like. And when I see somebody not coming, I could say like, are you okay? Like, is everything all right? But that I feel like now I have the time because I don't have to do all those other daily things of reaching out to every single student and, all the things that the marketing suite is doing for me.
Yeah. So I always think of those things. It's like having somebody else on payroll.
Correct.
Right?
And it is.
It's taking it off of you to catch those things, but then you step in there with the humanness.
Yep.
Right. To rescue a situation.
Mm-hmm.
I've also seen an attitude difference in you over the last.
Really?
Yeah. And I would say over the last 6 months.
Okay.
But I feel like you're showing up now, like ready to go. Every week I see you and you're like ready to go into action. And so I really feel that you make the most of your investment in coaching.
Yeah. And you know what? It also is in me. There's always that, like, I don't know enough. I own a business, but, what do I know about owning a business? All those things that I feel like working with you, you give me the confidence. And then I can take that with me throughout the week, and then, you give me my marching papers and then I'm on and I go and, I say that, but it's really, really true. And you've always kept me going, even though I wasn't feeling it. But now I know what to expect from each of our calls, like what we're going to do. Like in the beginning, I know we're going to go over everything, that all the things that I was supposed to get done in a week and, check that out. Or first thing, wait a minute, step back. We're going to start with a win, right? So I know you're going to ask me that. So I know I need to know my financials and all I need to know. I have to have that win so that I can tell you about it. And I also really love that during the week, if something comes up, you're so easily accessible. Like I can email you and you really get back to me quickly. If I have a question or an issue or something that we discussed that I don't remember everything that we discussed when you were really going.
Yeah.
And I was back there and you were already over there. But yeah, so you're really, really easy to work with. And you always feel like it doesn't matter what time of day, you're open to being available. And I really appreciate that.
What was the initial decision to hire a coach?
It was really scary because I didn't have we weren't making money, but I was honestly watching different coaches online, getting their emails and watching what they do, watching their little webinars and things. And I really just felt like doing it all alone is just too hard. And, I couldn't hire somebody to do it with me. I sort of had someone that was helping me, but not available all the time, not that they weren't invested, but, life happens. So I felt like I needed someone. I needed someone to help me make this business because I really wanted to have this be successful. And I knew I couldn't do it on my own. I knew I couldn't run it like I was doing it. And I needed someone to help me with marketing. I needed someone to just help me with the everyday and just dealing with teachers too. I needed someone. And I think through Walla, that's how we got connected.
Yeah. So when somebody signs up for Walla, they get a free call with one of their business consultants who I'm a partner with.
Right. And so, I look through them, but I love the way, like, we were so techie. Everything that you said, it wasn't an email that you said. You would send a Loom
video,
and I didn't know what's a Loom, whatever. But you would send that, and then it felt like you were more here with me,
present,
than just someone further away. So.
Ever wonder if there's a better way to manage your yoga studio? Our friends at Offering Tree have the answer, and their customers agree. Take a listen.
It's awesome. I often say to people that it does everything that I used to do using MindBody and BrandBot and Weebly. So for like way less money, and I can talk to a real person about like something that would be helpful in my business, and they'll actually care and then do it. Like, so that's something that's different than using all of those bigger companies together.
To get 50% off your first 3 months or 15% off an entire year, check out the show notes on this podcast or go to offeringtree.com/Yoga Biz Champ podcast.
I really like that.
You mentioned about building confidence, and especially in marketing. And, I'm a big fan of online marketing, but also getting scrappy and forcing you to get out in the community. But can we talk about some of those successes of you getting over that sort of initial kind of confidence thing, and then you're out in the community and you're building relationships that are having an impact on your business? So it comes to mind, I'm thinking about a movie theater, I'm thinking about a coffee shop, I'm thinking about a Christmas tree lighting ceremony.
Right. Yes. Yeah. So again, it is definitely that confidence thing in feeling like I don't think I really stepped into my big girl pants or the shoes of, the shoes of an owner 100% until I started working with you, and you made me put on those pants every single time I talk to you, and put on those shoes and put on that hat, but I am in a very small community, and they do such like little lovely things. Like you mentioned the Christmas tree lighting, that it literally felt like I was in the middle of a Hallmark movie. Yeah. But pulling people in was such a wonderful event, not only, with other local people, but then just meeting, the people that just came in, like all the residents and stuff that didn't know, or knew we were there, but never came in.
So for that Christmas tree line, you created it. So I call it create your own party, but you created an event
right,
to make people draw them in.
Correct. Yeah. So I knew a few local vendors that I knew would love to, come into the studio, and had them come in. They set up their tables, and that was a draw. I also had a draw, where a free raffle for people.
Where you're collecting emails, addresses on that.
Yes, exactly. And like, that was the first time I really did that, because we always have a fall festival, and I've always been at that, right, from the start. But I think I was always nervous to, like I had the thing, oh, you can give me your email, out on the table. But now I'm like, give me your email now. And I don't feel nervous about asking somebody that question.
Or even selling on the spot.
Correct. Yeah, that's right. We had an Easter egg hunt, and that was the first time, at one of those things, a local event, that I signed 2 new people up, like right there and then. I had my iPad there.
You're ready.
Yeah.
I always say once they've left you, that's even if they've just met you, it's a win back. You got to win them back. But if you can create the sale while they're in front of you,
exactly. Yeah. And like was something I couldn't do before I met you. For sure.
Coffee shop. I mean, that's a little success. Coffee shop.
It is. Yeah. And let me tell you, I don't think we've talked about this. That place is always crowded. There is a line outside the door. They set up lovely tables where people come.
For the listeners, this is a coffee shop across the street from your studio, right? It's very close.
It's like 3 doors down. It's on the corner. I'm in the middle of the street, and it's on the corner. It's like right there. And so Michael said, oh, this is what I did. So guess what? I tried the same thing. I bought coffee sleeves with my logo on it.
QR code?
Yeah, it's got a QR code on it. And it says, come to Peaceful Yoga. We're right down the street, And I haven't seen the success of that yet. Yep. But I think it will definitely.
You're branded. You're in front of everybody's eyes with every drink.
Let me tell you, that business is a really big success. And I really think that people are going to see that and come down, and that will draw, be a nice little draw, so that, we're helping each other a little bit.
So what we're talking about here for the folks listening is like, there's these existing events in town that you took the opportunity to jump on board with those events, and just because they're already on the party, so it's like creating an extra thing to draw people into your studio.
Correct.
You've also done great things, relationships with the cinema, right? Or the bowling alley. And
yeah. So the cinema is like the cutest little cinema. They show like the best movies, and it's like really, really tiny. So it's not one of these like multiplex kind of things. And I think it will always stay little tiny. And everybody loves, it's such like an afternoon kind of thing to do, evening, weekend thing to do. But they have this table and they just say, go ahead, put your stuff out here. And so, people come there, they see the QR code, they see my schedule, they can, take that and walk in. So that's a really great thing.
Scrappy.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Absolutely. And doesn't cost me a dime.
Yeah. So still on the theme of confidence, this has been a thing lately, right? Showing up on Instagram.
Yes. Oh my goodness. So Michael lately he calls it a talkie. So he's made me do talkies, and, I'm not very good at it, but I don't care. So I feel like when I do have something to say, I feel like, it's a brilliant idea and I need to tell people about it. So I'm just doing it and putting it out there. And
you are showing up on Instagram. So one of the things, Marianne is doing a challenge, a summer challenge at the studio.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
She has decided to partake in her own studio challenge, and you're just blogging your journey away every day on Instagram now.
Right. So I'm trying to vary it.
How's that feel?
Weird. But in the beginning, I'm like, what do I got to post? But anyway, I'm trying not to post the same thing every day, because part of the challenge is yoga. Part of the challenge is walks. Part of the challenge is meditation. So I'm trying to, not make it all about meditation or all about one thing, but post something every day that's about a different aspect of it. And then it's been coming up things that I've noticed that I'm now about my journey that I'm now sharing with whoever watches the videos. But I do notice that the talkies get so many more views than any shiny thing that I can create on Canva.
Yeah. Wednesday slow flow.
Mm-hmm.
Hey champs, I want to spotlight our podcast sponsor and someone I consider both a friend and a trusted expert, Mitch McGinley from Boutique Fitness Brokers. He's been on my podcast multiple times. He's a former yoga studio owner just like us. Mitch and his wife successfully sold their studio just like I did, and now he helps others do the same. So if you've heard my conversation with Jill Agonias on this podcast, she sold her studio for well over asking price thanks to Mitch's guidance. Whether you're thinking about selling your yoga studio for top dollar or you're looking to buy an existing studio, and let me tell you, that can be a great head start instead of building from scratch. Mitch is your go-to guy, seriously. He understands the ins and outs of the yoga industry, from valuation to finding the right buyer or seller. Plus, he's been right where you are, so he gets it. I'm always talking about building a profitable business that can be sold or carried on. My former studio is in its 22nd year now, and it's under its third owner, and I consider that a legacy. So if you want to explore your options for buying or selling, head over to yogabizchamp.link/BFB to book a no obligation chat with Mitch himself. And trust me, it's never too early to start planning for your yoga studio's future success. Again, that's yogabizchamp.link/BFB.
Better than that, right?
Correct.
I'm curious now, a couple of years in, how do you feel as a leader, like a team lead, a leader of the studio compared to before?
Oh, yeah. I definitely feel like it's changed. Because like this studio existed since 1996, maybe. I stepped into it probably somewhere in the early 2000s. And the woman who ran it, I so respected her. And so like she still to this day is such a wise American Indian, even though she's not American Indian, like wise woman, who does all these amazing things and has so much knowledge about, yoga, polarity, American Indian traditions, and all those different things. And then I've always gone to different yoga studios. And I always looked at these women because I've always in the back of my mind thought, oh, I would like to own a yoga studio, but I couldn't do it like she does it, or he or whatever. But I've always looked at them and admired them and watched them and saw what they did and how they presented themselves and everything. And in the beginning, I just didn't feel like I was that. Just being really honest and open about that.
Like an imposter.
Yeah, definitely. So just being able to feel a little bit more confident in the studio and as the owner changes the way I have relationship with the students and changes my relationship with the teachers as well. And I think having this new system, right? Wallow number one, having you in place, number two, and everything that the onboarding of the teacher, the system of what to do.
We did a team training as well.
That's right. The team training, right? And all those things have definitely helped me feel like I'm the owner and feel like, you know what, I'm doing this because my husband also owns a business. But I never felt like I owned a business too, or that people respected the fact that, I'm running a freaking business, people,
And it's not easy.
I'm paying, and it's not easy. And I'm paying 12 teachers every single month, and everything else, like cleaning the bathroom this morning, like I did, all the other things that goes along with being a studio owner.
Yeah. So you said you have confidence with the students as the owner and confidence with teachers. So tell me about the students. What's the confidence? What's the difference?
Well, again, it's that person that owned the studio before and how we looked up to her.
Right.
And not being that, or not feeling like I was that. And I'll never be that, but I am me, and I am the owner. And I do have relationships with the students that feel like teacher student.
Yeah.
Feel like family too, which is really nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then you took on a studio. So confidence now with the team, you took on a studio that had a team and you've also hired into that team over the years as well.
Correct. So here's another thing about that, about owning the studio that was, prior owned. Remember, I did my teacher training there. So some of the teachers that I hired were my teachers and still are my teachers. And especially like that one teacher that I told you about in the beginning that, when I first went to that mother center thing where she was teaching, now she's an, contractor employee of mine.
So the
and I'm the, her boss, quote unquote. Very, very strange feeling.
To put your expectations on somebody you have a mad respect for.
Yeah, absolutely.
Please show up early. Please do this. Please do that.
Right. Just having them like step in so easily and respecting me as the owner is hard for me to see it happening, but it's definitely happened and working really well.
Yeah. And you've changed up communication. You've got everything now in one place where everybody communicates together. And honestly, you've done an amazing job of being boss. I always say what I want for my studio owners is to always be able to stand firmly on their bare 2 feet in their studio and say, this is mine. These are my gentle expectations.
Correct. Yeah.
They're firm but fair. Right. And so I think that's a great thing that you're in that place now of like, let's move the needle forward now. And so now we're doing things. So now things have changed, right? And so now the next thing is next month, you're investing in a little renovation.
Yeah.
Because it's been somebody else's studio design for all this time, right?
Yes.
And so now it's like you've built up these systems that now you can support and make some changes and upgrades and
Yeah. So this feels really big to me, even though, it's big monetary, investment in the business. It also feels big, because I'm envisioning the students' reaction and walking in after the change, right? And it being peaceful yoga.
Yeah.
Like really being peaceful yoga. And, because of the way the studio was run, there was never a check-in desk because the teachers were the only ones there. They checked in their own students and did, their own accounting and all that kind of stuff. We're making that place. So now I can potentially hire someone to be that front desk, to have that front desk person. And I feel like that's going to be really a big thing for the students and the community, to have that person to, to ask questions to, and to be able to talk to the students, right there and then.
Yeah. Well, and I think, when you've turned things around, you've got busier classes now, you're up in sales. And so you can now start making those decisions and those investments to move the needle forward. This is not a plug for coaching, but what advice would you give to studio owners who feel stuck or overwhelmed like you were before coaching? What are the things that have helped you not feel stuck aside from coaching?
Well, just staying on track, basically.
Yeah.
Staying aware of everything that's happening within the studio and making a schedule, like having that schedule.
So you're talking about your schedule.
Having my own schedule so that I know that I need to take care of this for the studio on this day, and what time I'm going to do it.
To go into work.
Exactly. Yeah. And I really feel like that keeps me on track. And when there are so many things that need to be done and you're the only person doing it, it feels, like a lot of weight. But when I quote unquote tick things off, for today, and I can feel like I did the best I could today, and I knew that this is what I wanted to accomplish, and I accomplished it, and plus answered all the calls that came in and all that other stuff, then you know how to move forward in the next day so that it doesn't necessarily feel overwhelming. Because without that schedule, and I'm just like going like, answering this, doing that, I can easily get overwhelmed.
Yeah. Well, we assign tasks, right?
Yeah. So having those tasks and knowing that, okay, I need to get that done, but I can only do part of it today. And then I'm going to do this part tomorrow. And then I'm going to do that, but knowing that, if I give myself a time frame of when that task needs to be done, then I know that I can get it done. And now I'm getting to the place where I feel like I want to give people jobs to do.
Yeah.
And I feel like that they can do it. And not that I can't let go of it. I don't think it's about that for me, but it's definitely, I feel like I'm getting to a place where I can see it all.
Yep.
And I know that what has to get done and what I can do and what I can watch somebody else do.
Yeah.
And monitor that. I feel like I'm finally getting to that place.
Yeah. When you show up every Tuesday morning and we go over the previous week's tasks, what I've noticed is like we're going check, 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 check. Mm-hmm. Like it's really changed. And so I think part of that is you having, one place where you watch your tasks and then booking that time into your schedule to go to work. So it's like this afternoon is marketing. This afternoon is client emails, right? So you're kind of creating buckets of time.
Yeah. So I think working with you, I'm held accountable. So owning a studio on my own, I'm responsible for everything.
Yeah.
But you've had so much patience with me and held my hand through all of this, because there are weeks that I show up and I am like, look, Michael, I've done nothing this week, or, I've only done one thing that we talked about, or I tried to do that and I couldn't do it. And you've really held my hand and been really, really patient. And even if you went through the steps of something before, you've had so much patience in just saying it again, or saying it in a different way, or, bringing it up again if I haven't gotten to it yet, or just making sure that I get the job done. But you have a way of doing it that is really gentle and really kind.
Oh, thanks.
But it's not gentle that you're not pushing me,
Yeah.
You push and push and push every week.
But you said something before, sometimes I showed up and there's, I didn't get things done. I think that's important just to have a little touch on that we've worked together for 2 years. And like, I would say the last 6 months, it's been like, let's go, let's do this, blah, blah, blah. But we have had times where you had a car accident or this happened in your life and things go sideways. They don't go how we want them to, right? And I think that's important for every studio owner to know that is life, but we meet where we're at, right? It's like, that's where we are today. How can we kind of get out of the state a little bit and, move forward for next week. But I think is important, we're not always on top game.
Right. Yep. It's so true. When you own your own business, right, and you're your own boss, if you're not feeling up to it, you could just say, well, I just don't want to do that now. But knowing that I have to be accountable and you're holding that accountability for me, it's like having that friend that you go to yoga class with. When you make a pact, all right, we're going to yoga class together, but I'm not doing this without you. And I wake up and I don't want to go, you're making me go. So it's sort of like, and some days it felt like you were just dragging me along, dragging me along. But I feel like I couldn't have gotten to where I am right now without you, without our calls, without the patience that you've had for me, without everything that you've taught me about owning a business.
Well, thank you. I have to put credit due where it goes. You've actually done the work. So you're the one that has done the work. Marianne, what do you think you're most proud of when you think about the past year?
So I think we had a goal together. I think when I first met you, I wanted that marketing suite and you were like, nope, we can't have it. Not yet. You're not there yet. And the fact that we've gotten to a place in the business that we can afford that to me feels really, really good, that we've reached out to more people in the community. Yeah. Our yoga community has grown so much that we could afford this extra shiny thing that I had wanted, the whole time since I met you. And the fact that, going back to when I was watching all those other videos of other coaches and everything that they, and how to get $10,000 a month, $20,000 revenue. And I was like, struggling with $2,000 and thinking like, how could I ever get there? And to feel like that we're there, it feels pretty good.
Awesome.
Feels pretty good. And I know that I'm working my tail off in order to get it done.
Yeah. What's next for Peaceful Yoga?
What's next for Peaceful Yoga? Well, we're just going to keep reaching, more and more people. And our classes are all going to have wait lists.
Ah, good. And teacher training's back.
Yes.
Next year. And when we first met, teacher training was kind of post-COVID puttery, right? It wasn't really booming. So we kind of put it on hold because I believe in kind of those are shiny object things. We've got to, the bread and butter classes have to be rocking first. And we're rocking there now. So now we're not just putting a teacher training, it's on next year. And we're going to do a marketing plan. We've got a financial plan for it, a budget, which is new. So now we're going to do a marketing plan over the next 7 months to launch a teacher training, which I think is really exciting to go back to that.
Right. Yeah, it definitely feels a lot different because I'm standing in a place where the curriculum is written and the syllabus needs tweaking.
Yep.
But like that was a lot of work in order to get that done for the teacher training. So that piece is already done so that now I feel like I can concentrate on really making it be, I feel like before just doing the teacher training was so much about getting that curriculum done.
Yeah.
Now it has to really be about getting the word out there about it. And our teachers they really know yoga in order to share it. And the teachers that I have, I'm so lucky that the teachers that I have teaching the teacher training are my teachers that I learned from when I did the teacher training.
Mad respect, right?
Mm-hmm, totally.
Yeah.
Yep. For sure.
Marianne, I'm going to throw in some light questions for you. Something most people wouldn't know about you.
I am addicted to Pure Barre.
Ah, yeah.
Even though I'm a yogi, I have, this other thing that I need to do every day.
Yeah.
Non-negotiable.
Can we just add in with your favorite bar studio, you also did a little thing where you've got your cards in their studio?
We did. We did. For sure. Yeah. They gave me theirs and my schedule is there. And I've even taught a class there at night and sold a little package to all the Pure Barre students to come to Peaceful Yoga. Yeah.
Love it. What's your favorite business tool, website, or app?
I think I'm just really liking I love Walla, but and everything that Walla does. But I feel like I'm still learning Loom and I don't really know it 100%. I'm still learning Wheat. I don't really know it because I'm not willing to pay for it.
Yeah. Those are video communication tools, right? Yeah. But I do think you use Walla, the software. That's kind of been your main thing now. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Like that. And the people that they have making all these programs that reach out to people. And I love that when someone comes, they get something right away. When they don't come,
The
they get something
automations.
right. The automations. I absolutely love all the automations and that they can be personalized.
Yeah.
So that it's not just coming from a place of, like, here's another email from blah, blah, blah again. I love that it can be personalized. And then I can go in and personalize it even more when I know something about it. Like, hey, how was your vacation? I'm glad you're back to class. But also Chat GPT is a big one for me.
Yeah.
Couldn't live without it.
Yeah, me too. Okay. What about a go-to website app or app for fun?
For fun?
Yeah.
I've been doing Wordle.
Okay. That's a common one on the podcast. Yeah.
Yeah. I've been trying to do Wordle every day, and then connections I'm terrible at, but I try. There must be days when it's easier. And then I look at the connections and I'm like, really? Like, yeah, I try. I'm pretty good at Wordle. Yeah, that's something that I like to do for fun.
And if you were a yoga pose, what would you be and why?
I would be headstand.
Ah, really?
It would be. It's my favorite pose.
That's the first.
Yeah, I love seeing the world from a different perspective.
I love it. Where can people follow your journey and stay connected with your studio?
Peaceful Yoga Malverne on Instagram.
Peacefulyoga.net.
Peacefulyoga.net. Yeah. Peaceful Yoga has a YouTube. There are some videos that I have up there with various meditations, children's yoga classes, things like that.
Well, Marianne, thank you for sharing your story with the listeners. Again, I feel like you're the little studio that could and has. It's like this small community studio, but you've built it up into a sustainable business and you've put the time in, you're putting the work in and you're showing up. And I have mad respect for you and what you've done and built and are building and continue to build. So thank you for sharing your story with my listeners.
Thank you so much, Michael. I can't even believe that, first of all, that I'm so honored that you asked me to be part of your podcast because I listened to it and I love everybody that you have on and I've learned so much from everybody that you have on. And I couldn't have done anything that I'm doing right now without you. So thank you.
Thank you so much. Thanks, Marianne.
Have a great day.
You too. Thanks for tuning in, champs. If you've enjoyed today's episode, please subscribe and leave a review. It really helps me out a lot. And if you're ready to open your own studio or grow your current one, visit yogabizchamp.link/podlink. Again, that's yogabizchamp.link/podlink to book your free strategy call with me and explore my Start a Studio and Grow a Studio packages. And you'll also get access to all of my free Yoga Biz Champ resources there. And you can also check out the video content on YouTube for more insights and follow me on all social media platforms at Yoga Biz Champ. See you next time.